Welcome back, everyone. My name is Chris, and as you can see here, I have 3 examples of Star Trek The Next Generation uniforms. Just to go over where these all came from, I've made this one here. This is a Season 1/2 jumpsuit. This one here is from yesterday's Enterprise. I also made this one. If you want to look, there's a video on my channel of me putting this one together. And then this one here is from a company that no longer is around, Anovos. This is the Premier line, one of their first runs that came with the full pants, jacket. It even came with a magnetic combat as well. This is not what that is, but it's the full wool gabardine. I think it retailed for about $1,200 back in the day. I generally don't wear this anymore, not because I don't like it or it doesn't fit me, but I like to wear the stuff that I make these days. And I mean, if a occasion arose where I needed to wear this or wanted to, I definitely would. But these two I made this one about a year ago, last May. This one was done a couple months ago. And I just want to go over in this video the little nuance differences between these 3 uniforms. I would probably put all of these on mannequins, but I don't have a third one that's going to fit this one, so wearing it is my current option. So you get a live model here. So this is the first jumpsuit that they created for the show. It had an invisible zipper in the front here, and it attached up here with 2 hook and eyes. Had the collar piping that went around the shoulder, and there was no visible high collar at all. This was the initial look for the show. Clearly, some of the larger actors had complaints about it was pulling on their back, and I can attest it does pull like a rubber band. If you're in this for 60 hours a day and you're a bit older, I could see how it would be strained, or if you had previous back issues or whatnot. So that's why they switched over to this in the 3rd season, only for the men. The women still had to wear these same jumpsuits, so take that for what you will. This was a 2-piece wool gabardine jumpsuit with an elastic waistband, so it allowed a little bit more mobility, and it was a lot looser around the wearer's body. They still had a hard time raising their arms by the way it was constructed. This one as well, it doesn't give very good range of motion, even though it is spandex. The Picard maneuver was not from a 2-piece. It initiated with these jumpsuits. When Stewart would sit down in the chair, he would pull the jumpsuit down because it would ride up, and he just continued that with that jumpsuit. As it elastic band would rise up, they would need to pull it down. And then this is the one-off variant from Season 3, yesterday's Enterprise. It has very subtle differences. It was a wool gabardine. I didn't make it out of wool gabardine. I made it out of a jumpsuit, which I said, like, the women all wore the spandex jumpsuits. But the big differences on these, if you notice the sleeve, it has this black trim detail. The collar is a full stitched round collar, as opposed to this one, which has the Mandarin cut. But I think this is just me making an assumption or a guesstimation, that because the episode was in dark lighting, these subtle changes were not very noticeable, especially on the old school TVs that you would watch The Next Generation on. So they wanted another differentiating factor, which is why they added these shiny silvery belts to just get the point across that this is a slightly different version from this one here. I even had some friends tell me that they didn't even know about this sleeve detail, and they've watched it since in HD. So clearly they wanted you to get the idea that these were a different uniform altogether. In the background of this episode, they wore these season 1-2 jumpsuits with this belt without a full harness on it as well. I do have those pieces if I ever do want to convert one of these to that. TNG is one of those truly iconic sci-fi TV shows. It reinvented the Star Trek genre. They did bring back Bill Tice to make this design jumpsuit, and Robert Blackman came behind him in the third season and created this two-piece jumpsuit as well as this particular variant in the one-off episode. I do enjoy that they kept the overall aesthetic on the entire show. They changed it in minor spots, from the collar to the one-off episode with the sleeve or a belt, but overall these three feel like they came from the same exact show. That being said, of all these three, I do particularly love the season 1 jumpsuit. Just to go over a little bit of the coloring and the fabric choice that they used. With this guy right here, they used a wool gabardine. It is also a very burgundy type of berry color. This one was matched to a Riker jacket, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the company that made this. This fabric is very closely matched to a season 1 or 2 fabric. I think it more akin to a later season women's jumpsuit, but these jumbo spandex reds seem to have been pretty consistent, with minor variations of darkness or lightness, not as wildly changing as the gold or the blue. I did start my sewing journey, not just on these, but overall on one of these specific season 1 jumpsuits. So it's the first thing I've made, and probably the thing I've made the most, so I am the most proficient at it. This was my first time doing a Yesterday's Enterprise variant, which is more akin to this. I've never done a wool gabardine jacket or anything like that. I'm sure there's a decent pattern out there for these. I have not looked. As far as fabric goes, I don't believe there's a fabric that can be purchased off the shelf. You would have to get a wool gabardine and have it dyed to this specific color if you wanted to make one as accurate as this. And from my personal standpoint, if I own this and it is a certain level of accuracy, and if I were to make another one and it wouldn't reach this, I'm not going to waste my time doing it, because if I already own it, I don't need to make a subpar version for myself, unless I know that eventually I'll get good enough to make it. But it's more material lacking. With that all being said, here are the 3 examples from Star Trek: The Next Generation. I hope you found this video informative or enlightening. I do commissions on a case-by-case basis. I have an Etsy, it'll be down below. Mainly just the jumpsuits. Like I said, I've never done a wool gabardine jacket. Not that I wouldn't be able to, I just haven't given an attempt to that. But if you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe. Any comments below? You have any suggestions? Is there anything you want to see me make on another video? Feel free to comment that. And again, thanks for watching, and catch you in the next one.